Hey, you! You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed because you're an untouchable success. To support us and gain access to great exclusive shows like our brand new Supernatural watch-along Himboos, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You'll also get your lucky little mitts on hundreds of episodes of our other exclusive shows like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, and the complete series of Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We do movie nights, game streaming, regular mini-series and surprise shows, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want, within reason. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by heading to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed. Probably don't need help with that word.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Who is your favorite Street Fighter character, Dave?
I didn't play much Street Fighter. I'm not a Street Fighter person.
If gun to your face, I'm going to end your existence. I'm going to tear your immortal soul from your body unless you tell me a favorite Street Fighter character. Who pops into your mind? Who fits your vibe?
Well, it's probably bad, but because Raul Julia, Bison.
Yeah, no, Bison's a good pick. He's a good pick.
I mean, I'm one of those guys who likes vanilla ice cream, who plays with Mario, so I'm Ryu. I mean,
right.
I'm sorry. You listen to Vanilla Ice.
I listen to Vanilla Ice as my favorite artist. He came to my college once, and he was a rock star at that point.
Wow.
I remember that phase.
Tom? Street Fighter?
This is actually a difficult question for old Tom.
You asked.
I know! The tables have turned!
Yeah.
Gosh. Probably the character I use the most often is Sakura, which might be a character that you're not even familiar with, Dave, depending on how deep into Street Fighter you get.
Not deep at all. I was a Soul Calibur guy.
My brother is a huge Street Fighter fan, has been playing for years online, and he told me that he's very excited because C. Viper has just been reintroduced to the Street Fighter universe.
Viper's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sagat's my other one.
Okay.
You gotta like that dude.
I don't know what these people look like or what
he's the guy that was portrayed by Wes Studi. He's Eye Patch Man. He's got a scar across his chest, you see, because Ryu Dragon punched him.
You have to talk to me through the Street Fighter, the 94 Street Fighter movie.
Fun fact about M. Bison, who's your favorite.
Bison,
is that in the original version, M. Bison was Balrog, who's the boxer, but it was too close to Mike Tyson, and so they switched the names around and turned.
Because his name was literally Mike Bison. That's why it's M. Bison.
I love how, because Mortal Kombat has this too, how we've made this lore in movies, and the original creators are sitting there going wow.
Yeah.
We didn't think about this at all.
Was a pizza with a piece taken out of it.
Yeah.
Put a bow on its head. There's Mrs. Pac-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's $1 billion industry.
Yep. God,
everyone.
yeah. Hello.
What another episode of Hypecast?
Hypecast.
The show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell, and...
that was my cue. Okay, and
sink or swim, baby.
I'm Will Gordh.
Hey,
Will Gordh. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on first ever Hypecast.
I know. I see the first ever Hypecast. I see Dave multiple times a week over Zoom, and every time I talk to Tom, it's because we're working.
Mhm.
And so now, I mean, I suppose this is work, but it feels a little different. Feels like fun.
Yeah, we get to talk about movies. For
Yeah,
people who don't know,
it's
Will
fun work.
Will is the director, and I want to say producer at Some More News.
Yeah, you could say that.
I think so. I think that
so.
works.
You're allowed to say that.
Yeah, Will, you love horror, especially 80s, 90s horror, especially. You're like a horror historian. We got to get you on like a We Just Watch
A
for
horror
like we just
historian.
Yeah.
Yes. I actually have a YouTube channel with my brother. It's called Man Boy Nice, and we just started not even a year ago, and we were doing long form video essays about retro horror. So we just finished a series called The Wokest Horror Movies of the 1980s, and it's a 2-part series. It's like 3 hours long in total, and we talk about 80s horror in the context of, all these right-wingers saying horror movies and movies never used to be woke. And we're like, wait a minute. Yes, they did. And
oh yeah,
use it
Horror
to talk
in
about
particular.
history and politics. Yeah, especially horror. So yes, I've fashioned myself, and I've gone on a journey to become a horror historian. I'm making my way through the 90s now, but I just watched hundreds of 80s horror movies over the past few years.
What was the last 90s movie you watched?
The last, okay, let me think.
I'm going to ask you a completely different question, so be ready for that.
I watched a 90s horror movie recently called Mute Witness.
Mute Witness.
Oh, yeah.
And
never
it
watched that.
is a trip of a movie. It's like genre bending. It's really disturbing. Then it becomes really fun. It's about this.
You know the cover. If you were
Yeah,
if you were a blockbuster
you will
troll,
see this
you know the
cover. Yeah, I won't tell you too much about it, but I would recommend anybody check it out because it's a wild ride.
All right.
What my question is, what are some of the wokest horror films of the 80s? I assume Nightmare Part 2 is on there.
Yes, well, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is actually our first video. We did a whole hour and 20-minute long exploration of how Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is actually an allegory for internalized homophobia. So it's very woke. But yes, some of the other wokest horror movies, of course, They Live, if you qualify that as a horror movie, is maybe the wokest movie, period, ever made.
It's
like,
pretty rad.
It's literally like the whole thing is about opening your eyes and seeing the truth. So, They Live, Society is very woke.
Oh.
Would also argue that Chud, Cannibalistic Humanoid
Yes.
Underground Dwellers, is quite woke.
We watched
covered
it
it,
fairly
yeah.
recently. It's about like how homeless people are not
Yeah,
considered
are
in society.
dehumanized, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally in this
dehumanized
movie.
and screwed over by the system and disregarded. And so there's also a movie called The Entity, which is about sexual violence against women and how they're not believed when they come forward.
That movie I saw that movie when I was a teenager. It creeped me out so badly.
Yeah, it's actually, I think Martin Scorsese said that it was one of the scariest movies ever made. And, Martin Scorsese, he's got good taste.
Movies, yeah.
He does make movies.
made a
And then
few movies,
there's
yeah.
another one called White Dog, which is little known, which is about a dog that was trained to be racist, and these people's attempt to retrain the dog to no longer be racist. And it's a metaphor, but it's also like a real thing that happens with dogs. And so that one is super woke. They talk about like how dogs were trained to enforce, slavery and mass incarceration. So there's a lot of woke horror movies, especially in the 80s when Reagan was, doing all of what Reagan was doing. There were people who were telling the stories about that era,
People were pretty angry about that at the time, turns
yeah,
out.
they were.
I watched a little
It's
known
not just
woke
in retrospect.
movie.
Sorry.
Last night I watched a little known woke movie called Volcano. It addresses racism. I just want to share something really obvious about that movie that didn't click until I watched it. because I always thought of that movie as like Volcano in LA, cool idea, and then almost as a non sequitur, they threw in like weird like racist cop stuff, and like they all look the same, and I realized the whole movie's a fucking metaphor. It never occurred to me that Los Angeles is literally like, it's a pressure. It's the pressure is exploding in Los Angeles, a fucking melting pot, and it was like, oh, volcano. It's like art. But
do we have to reconsider our initial view of Volcano? Okay.
Well, here's what I'll say is that it was cool to be like, oh my God, the writer thought about this way more than I thought they did.
Yeah.
They missed the mark, but their heart seemed to be kind of in the right place, which was like in a disaster, we all come together. The beginning sequence is showing like the cultures, all the cultures and people, while intercutting it with the boiling under the city. And it's like, it's all gonna blow, baby. It's that feeling.
It is sort of Crash with a volcano in it.
It is Crash with a volcano.
Okay, is it better? Is Dante's Peak better still?
Yes.
Okay.
Will, say that YouTube one more time.
It's Man Boy Nice.
Man Boy Nice.
Man Boy Nice.
Go on the YouTube, type that in, folks. You won't regret it.
Yeah, I do it with. It's a joint project that I do with my brother Daniel Vincent Gordh, who some viewers may remember from the Cracked days. Perhaps he was Darcy on the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, if anyone ever watched that show.
Nice.
But yeah, he's luckily I don't have to be on camera, so I just write words and have him say them.
Oh, it's the best. That's the best version.
Love
Absolutely.
it.
All right. Well, I don't have to ask you if you like movies. We ask people if they like movies, or I do. I just started doing it, and all right. Well, we have some patrons to thank first, and then we're going to talk about trailers. So, big old thank you to the following beautiful patrons that make this happen. Thank you to @NerdNumber says, check out MikeSlater.com for amazing Babylon 5 takes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to 2001 A Space McNulty Odyssey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Howe Presents Andrew and Andrew Watch Twin Peaks.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew McGuire Likes How Tom Says Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Thank you to As Long As I Got My Suit and Kai.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. All right, let me jump in here.
You.
Thank you to BLT22 EWHVIS-B.
Thank you.
Went cross-eyed for a second. I'm trying to look like past my microphone. Let me move the list.
It happens.
Yeah. Thank you to Bootler is looking forward to season 3 of Himboos.
Thank you.
Thank you to Braxton is busting loose and writing a big old nerd book. Wish me luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you to Brian whomst Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway loves the Meat Millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito, the skankiest slut in town.
Thank you.
Thank you to be sure to pre-order Jason Pargin's highly controversial new novel, There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs.
Thank you.
On it.
Changed it.
Changed it. Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you. All right. We got trailers. We got
do.
Too many trailers. Starting with The Punisher, One Last Kill. Anybody else watch The Punisher show?
No.
I watched the Daredevil series and I watched the season with the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
That's what I saw.
I will say that I do think John Berthal is a great Punisher. So
He's great. I like him a lot as the character.
He's great. He's a great guy. I like that he came out and he was like, fuck everybody using the Punisher as like a white supremacy thing or as like a right-wing thing.
It helps that he seems to be like a cool, like socially conscious dude in real life.
It's more that I mean, he does.
The Punisher's a tough character.
Right, he understands the Punisher, it seems.
Yeah.
You both.
Well, he seems like he co-wrote this
it's credited as
presentation,
co-writer.
which is interesting.
I guess this is a Werewolf by Night situation. Like, is this a short?
I don't think it's a short. I think it's
or...
I think it's just going to be like a little movie or something. Here's what I think. Considering the name, I think they're like, we're not going to do another season of Punisher. Mm-hmm. We're going to put you in stuff, and we want to make sure people remember who you are. You're going to be hanging out with Spider-Man. So let's
Daredevil, I expect.
Yeah, so we're going to do like this special. Yeah, I think Daredevil is now going to be the thing.
Yeah, the question is, do we need to see this before we see Spider-Man?
I doubt it.
No, you don't. I would say you guys should watch the Punisher show because you both are fans of like 80s movies and action.
I know,
the Punisher is straight up like...
I'm so far behind on the Netflix stuff. I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Daredevil and most of Jessica Jones season 1. That's it.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the rest of Netflix stuff. I didn't see most of the Disney Plus stuff apart from WandaVision.
Punisher's great because it's just some guy. Like, there's no superhero shit,
Right.
and in fact, it's jarring to see him now be like, "What's up, Spider-Man?" Like him in the Spider-Man trailer, like driving that tank or whatever. I'm like, that's the biggest thing he's done. Like most of the set pieces in Punisher are like, I'm gonna fight a bunch of people in a bathroom.
Right.
It's like that is as
It's kind of the
big as it
biggest
gets.
thing he does in the comics, too. It's sort of the
Yeah.
funniest thing about the Punisher, apart from his entire existence, is his battle van. So
Yeah.
like, showing him
Right.
actually driving the battle van is pretty fun.
I mean, I will say I'm a believer in rehabilitative justice, but I'm a sucker for a revenge story.
Oh,
heck
yeah.
everybody
You know
is.
what I mean? And
oh yeah.
this trailer is so heavy on the it's light on emotionally cathartic vengeance, but very heavy on the trauma, which is interesting. Also, he has a black daughter, so it might be kind of woke.
It is
Seems
woke.
like he has a black daughter, which
Uh-oh.
might be too woke for.
Can they keep
I will
politics out
crack
of the Punisher,
up if
please?
they freak out and start saying that this Punisher movie is too woke because he has a black daughter.
There,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're 100%. It's going to be that. I do like.
Yeah.
You're very. That's very true, though. You're right. This trailer focuses so much on how much it sucks to be Frank Castle. Like he's having a nightmarish day. Like he can't tell what he can't. He's having like breaks with reality while he's killing these people and like he's weeping. It
You
seems
guys-
like it sucks.
He's weeping and screaming and having flashbacks, and he's going through it because of that beard. I don't
Yeah.
know what do you guys think of that beard?
The
It's
beard
a little
is new.
intense.
ferocious beard.
The
yeah.
beard means it's like one last ride. You guys should definitely watch the show because it's all on par for the show. Like he is a weepy bastard in the show. It's a lot of that, and the show is kind of woke. There's a lot of like one of my favorite moments is in season 2 with the aforementioned bathroom fight. A bunch of goons walk in. And they're not all dudes. It's ladies too. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he just murders all of them. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
great. That's
Equal
so great that he
opportunity
beat the
revenge.
crap out of that lady. I'm like, that's amazing. He like murdered those people.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Very feminist message.
it was.
we were introduced to the Punisher in a Spider-Man comic by him shooting at jaywalkers.
Yeah.
It's,
It's that energy. Definitely, it's been that energy of like, it's not like, yeah, like that's kind of thing. Is anybody using like that logo on their truck or whatever? If you watch any season of the new show, you're like, oh, okay, this is not.
He's Travis Bickle, man. He's not.
Yeah, it's so
Right.
far removed from that tone now, where it's just like, oh yeah, he is just the most traumatized man in the world, to the point where you're like, all right, man, calm down,
Yeah.
calm down. Yes, your whole family was killed. I get it, but calm down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it looks good. It looks exciting. But like you said, it's going to be probably just an action movie, but it is weird this is why it made a lot of sense for superhero movies of the past not to be all in the same universe, because it's like a universe with Frank Castle
The
doesn't
scale-
feel like a universe with Thanos.
Yeah.
It's hard to jump the
Yes.
scale back and forth. You're more used to it being like a reader of comics, but that's what they do in the comics. They keep everybody separate until like there's a big annual event once a year that pulls everybody in, and it's some cosmic bullshit like Thanos or something like that.
That
Vampire
is my-
Thanos.
Like, I get Daredevil, but even Daredevil, I'm like, Thanos would murder him.
Oh
But
god.
like, I
Yeah.
will say that is
It's
my
like The
biggest
Boys.
issue. Yeah. With the Punisher was that the Punisher does very much feel like its own thing, and I like that about it. And seeing him with Spider-Man, I'm just like, he doesn't stand a chance
Right.
in this world.
Right.
Like, I want to see him try to kill Thanos because that would be fun to see, but he would lose that fight immediately.
Right. It's like if he's
but he would win our hearts in the
a
process.
Yeah.
He would lose it very hilariously. Sorry.
But it's like if you're having a tough time, fighting a group of people in a bathroom, right? Like human beings without superpowers, like, what chance do you have against a super strong web slinger,
Yeah, there's also, and I think this is a problem, like Deadpool is an R-rated character, but if you stick him in Spider-Man or whatever, he can break the fourth wall and make it fun. Like, he can be like, I can't
you can
swear.
play a game with it, yeah.
Right.
How many times you can swear.
Daredevil is like in between, where it's like they could, like, they've done this where they kind of toned him down. There was the Hawkeye show that had Kingpin, and they toned him down a little, and they made Kingpin like a little more superhuman in the Hawkeye show, and I was like, oh, he's getting like Marvel, he's getting like Disney-fied. Frank Castle, it's really hard to imagine him in this world.
Because of the violence, right?
Yeah, like I want to see Spider-Man be fighting a guy and Frank Castle just execute the man with a gun.
Happens. It happens.
Oh, good. I don't know if it'll happen in this.
It might not happen in this movie or in the show, but yeah, Punisher's he's an interesting character in that way. He never really changes from being just that. He's never really met a human.
Yeah, it's not just that he's a human being fighting other human beings, and so it's weird to put him in a universe with people with superpowers, but there's also just the tone, because we're talking about like super violent, blowing people's heads off versus like a more cartoony,
a lot of hateful killing,
thwap,
Punisher,
punch, pow kind of vibe. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle him in the Spider-Man movie.
It's right there in his name, the Punisher.
Yeah,
right.
I think my prediction, he's in 1, maybe 2 scenes.
Oh yeah, well, we probably won't see him too much, but anyway, this looks neat. I like them doing the little specials. I liked Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. Well, speaking of spooky things, our next trailer is Insidious Out of the Further. If you remember, the Further is like the ghost realm, so they're coming out. The demons are coming out. This is like where
That's not good.
Yeah, we're officially. I mean, the director is unrelated.
Your granddaddy's Insidious.
We're officially at like the Halloween 6 of it all, where we're like,
right,
we're
at the point the lore has gotten so deep at this point that I don't.
It's very much anthology kind of territory now, right? Where it's like the only connective tissue is Lynn Shay's character,
who is a ghost possessing somebody. There's like stages to her involvement. She's like a ghost speaking through somebody else's character.
She was killed by Patrick Wilson, right?
In the first movie.
In
the first movie. That's how it ends. That's like the cruel twist.
Wait,
at the
she
end.
died in the first movie
and has been in
movie. All of them?
Yeah. Remember the Red Door? The Red Door was a man like.
They play that Tiny Tim song in this trailer.
Yeah, the tiptoe through the tulips.
Right where it's probably going to dovetail with what you're about to say, Dave. But it's just such a weird reminder, or a stark reminder, of how far removed this movie is. Yeah, because it's so lore heavy about how the Further works and contacting them and demons and realms, and to what it initially was, which was this really kind of minimally explained horror story about a kid who was astral projecting into a demon world when he dreamt. It's
that thing where like less is more with horror, right?
Yes,
the less you
always.
know.
Always.
And so, like, that's why usually you can get away with 2. Like, the sequel was cool. I liked parts of the sequel.
It was neat that it tied back into it. And it was, it's not like the greatest movie, but it was like,
This is now like fantasy. And like,
it's just
I
like
laughed
dark fantasy.
So loud when that ghost had a shotgun.
Right, it's just like, give me your fucking money.
Well, also, I love the fact that the main character is a dentist. I'm certain for no other reason than they're like, wait, let's do a creepy dentist set piece with gross teeth and stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of Insidious I've noticed is like, I think they put Patrick Wilson in an MRI machine at one point. Like they love, let's put them in like a place that everybody's This is the thing is like, I personally think the beauty of horror is to make people scared of like your own house at night, right?
Yeah.
Things that are normal. And that's why it's so funny to be like, how do we scare people in this scene? Let's give the ghost a shotgun. And it's like instead of like, oh, like the Chucky doll is scary now. It's like, you know what could be scary? A shotgun. And it feels like that, where it's like a dentist chair, an MRI machine, where they're like, they don't try. They're just like, let's fucking pour it on.
I do like,
just give the ghost a gun.
yeah.
It's so funny to me.
The first one was very focused on just being in this one suburban house. And I do like the bit in this trailer where she's crawling through the couch cushion maze with her kid, and then it becomes like this impossible corridor. That's a neat idea.
That was a neat idea, except the ghosts look like the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, they all look
And I
stupid.
was like,
They all look stupid.
Well, Insidious, I feel like, becomes more and more of like I almost feel like it's a cheat code for horror, because it's like, okay, let's just put someone somewhere, and then at any moment they could end up in a demon realm. And what demons will we throw at them? Whatever demons we think are scary.
Yeah.
And we'll give them a shotgun, and we'll, orchestrate a jump scare. And it's like, okay, so they sort of created a world in which they can just sort of do whatever creepy shit they want at any given time. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to respect it to some degree.
it's a real Space Jam equation.
Yeah.
Insidious to me it's the Taco Bell of horror, where
Yes.
that isn't an insult. Sometimes I really want and like Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Like,
and
this type
I generally
of horror.
think that Insidious has been better than The Conjuring. I think.
Oh, I disagree. So the problem with The Conjuring is it props up grifters who exist in real life.
Right.
But I think quality-wise, I think the first Conjuring is better than the first Insidious personally.
I
And I
meant
think that-
like this. I meant like the franchise.
Oh,
I think
overall,
Insidious has produced more like watchably enjoyable installments.
That
than
Devil
The
Made Me
Conjuring
Do It.
has.
Conjuring was pretty
The
bleak.
second one falls apart.
Yeah.
Like, really only the
they
first
tried to be
Conjuring is any
Marvel.
good.
No, there are people, though, that are Conjuring
Sorry.
fanatics out there.
For sure. I really liked the first one.
Yeah. I was getting a haircut recently, and my the person cutting my haircut was asking me whether I thought all the stuff happening in The Conjuring was real.
Oh, wow. You
And I
should have been
said-
like, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is real. It is true, actually.
It is literally true.
That
It all
dog
happened.
The
turned
Raggedy
into that
Man.
Yeah.
The Nun.
The Nun is real.
Yeah, the nun is.
Annabelle? Is that from The Conjuring? I don't know.
She
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annabelle's real.
Yeah.
One of the Annabelles was actually kind of good. Annabelle Comes Home.
Wait, there's two Annabelles? Okay.
Yeah,
There
It
was
Comes
like
Home has a
behind.
decent
four
director.
Annabelles.
Four.
These are all to me like they're all kind of practices in jump
Yeah.
scares or creepy,
Yes.
and so for that reason, like there's a scene in Conjuring
Working
2.
with minimal budgets, too, in a
Yeah.
single location. So there are some
Yeah.
really great moments in some of them. Sorry, Dave.
Right? No, that's what I was gonna say. Is it's a lot of directors being like, I want to try something.
Yes.
And a lot of the time, I'm like, oh, that's a really good scene in an otherwise whatever
Kind
film.
of a fart movie, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it worth it. It's almost
Mhm.
like, all right, let's give some horror directors a little playground, and the whole story will be based around certain set pieces and jump scares that they want to do, and we
Yeah.
won't worry beyond, like, this is just like, hey, you can bring the demons out into the real world. Like, what other plot devices do you need?
I grew up on not just The Omen, but all of the Omens, including the TV movie one. And they creeped me out. And I watched them all recently as an adult. And I'm like, these suck. They're terrible. But they all have little moments that are
Mhm.
like, oh, I know why that freaked me out as a kid. That's a
Mhm.
good scene. It's that.
Yes, that's what and the trailer is just wall to wall. Here's a
Those
little
moments.
sample of that scene. Here's a little sample of that scene. And you know that when you go check it out, there's going to be some creepy jump scares that are going to get you. And that's all you need from it.
Again, it's Taco Bell. You know what you're going to get.
They're leaning on teeth stuff specifically. A lot of teeth
Teeth.
clacking, a lot of jabber jaws in this one.
And again, shotgun. I can't stress enough. If every ghost had a shotgun, I'd be more concerned about ghosts. Don't get me wrong.
You remember the first one? It was in the trailer. It was kind of like got my eye about the first one. It's that shot of Patrick Wilson and you see the demon over his shoulder. It's like such a what the fuck image. Give him a
Give him
gun.
a
Give him a
shotgun.
little gun. Just coming up behind Patrick Wilson with a gun.
With
10
a big-
times scarier.
With a big, big smiley grin on their face.
Yeah.
Through the tulip.
Speaking of subtlety, I'm talking
Eli
about
Roth, the ice cream man.
Yeah, Elon Roth, ice cream
Elon
man.
Roths.
This is a zombie movie, apparently.
Oh, rad. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't get that from... I mean, it's a teaser, so you're not getting too much. But, it looks like it's Eli Roth. It's going to be pure exploitation and violence. And what...
Yeah.
But, for me, I'm like, Eli Roth serves a purpose in the horror zeitgeist, which is like, you gotta have a few people who are like, I'm just gonna push the violence and the decency as far as I possibly can. And there's a role for horror filmmakers to push the boundaries in that way, regardless of whether or not I'm gonna enjoy it.
Regardless of how much you
Yes.
actually like his movies. Yeah, he's Taco Bell. He's Taco Bell.
He's a different type. Yeah, he's like bad Taco Bell.
Well, I like
for-
a decent amount of his movies,
That's
but I
fair.
understand that he's not really defensible.
It's not like
He's street meat. You know what I
He
mean?
is street meat. Yeah, he would love that you called him street meat.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Yes.
think you're right. Well, where it's like I know the purpose he served, and I guess to me, this is a whole genre of horror, and it's weird because you'd think this is like a take that it's like as I got older, but I've always felt this way. Is that there's a distinct difference between a movie being upsetting and being scary,
Mhm.
and that's what I like Cabin Fever, but for the most part, it's that comparison of a stand-up comic tickling you. It's that's just a response mechanism that you're triggering in me, where it's
Mhm.
I could do that, I have that feeling where it's I just I don't find his stuff scary. I more just go ew.
It's definitely more about, certainly Cabin Fever and Hostel are definitely more about kind of sitting with this dread.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like this sort of feeling, this bad vibe.
Right.
But I also think he can be a little impishly fun when he wants to be. He's
he has
not
a good
terrible,
sense of humor.
but he's not terribly funny at writing himself. But there's moments with the house with a clock in its walls, and I think Thanksgiving was a fun slasher. And
I like
this one,
Thanksgiving,
yeah. And this one, the ice cream man, I thought it was a fun twist that it seemed rather than a murderous ice cream man killing children, he's doing a weapons approach where he's possessing children to murder their parents in horrific ways.
Yeah.
Sort of I guess, what was that one? Sinister? No, Insidious.
Wait, we just talked
Wait, no,
about
it is
Insidious.
Sinister. It is Sinister.
It
yeah.
is Sinister.
The,
we're definitely going to see more, I think, after Weapon. I think there's going to be a Zach Kreger pattern where he'll make
Yeah.
a movie and then it'll be
Right.
all right, let's do a bunch of that.
Let's get this taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks like an Eli Roth that I'm going to enjoy. He makes real bad things like Knock Knock and
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I forgot about that movie.
And Borderlands, which I've still not seen, although I don't think we can lay that failure entirely at his feet.
But it also, I will say that the trailer does look like there's he's growing in filmmaking skill. You know what I
would
mean?
agree,
There's
as
some
a fan of his
design and thoughtfulness to the look and the camera work and things like that. So it may be Eli Roth leveled up a little bit, considering it may be a low budget thing, but I think it's going to be, it's going to be a shock fest. It's going to be hey, look how disturbing it is watching kids murder, people. But like I said, yeah, it's I'm grateful for his service because it gives space for other filmmakers who want to push the boundaries to do that and he will take all the heat for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, again,
Yes,
it's talk about that.
Girl
we
kills
know
her mom
exactly
with a
what we're gonna
hacksaw
get.
in this. It's
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're talking. But there is also a bunch of kids. holding like their teacher still while one of them hits them in the center with a fire axe. There's like slapstick moments in the trailer too.
Right.
Oh, the kids had a great time, probably.
Yeah, you bet the kids had a blast making it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Let's
all
hope
had
so.
fun. It reminds me of sort of like the Terrifier movies in terms of what the point of those are.
There's a stark difference to Terrifier.
Okay.
In my mind, because all the or at least I have gotten most of the way through the first Terrifier, and have seen just snippets of the others.
Yeah, but Wes Craven once said something along the lines of like his goal with some of his movies is to make the audience feel like they're not in safe hands, as the audience is not in the safe hands. The filmmaker is not safe hands. You know what I mean? And so it makes you feel like, oh shit, like this is not going to be a safe experience. Like I might get fucked up while I do this.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what Damien Leone is trying to do in the Terrifier series is
for sure
make you feel like you mistrust him, and I don't trust him. I agree. I'm like you are pushing decency like too far. But yeah, so you think there's a difference between what Eli Roth is doing and what those movies are doing?
Yeah, I get a definite difference between Terrifier and an Eli Roth movie. It's nobody gets sawed in half vagina first in an Eli Roth movie.
Yeah, I think don't they get stabbed in the vagina? Did that happen?
That was in the Thanksgiving trailer, but actually it doesn't end up happening in Thanksgiving the movie.
Hostel has a lot of ultra violence, I suppose.
It does, yeah, but none of it's like really sexual.
Not sexual, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this stuff like generally like
not that a movie about and not that a horror movie about sexual violence immediately makes that's Terrifier.
The
entity, Terrifier specific. The entity. Yeah, it's Terrifier specifically makes me like I think this guy's a creep.
There is something to making you feel uneasy about the found footage. I think is a good opportunity. It's a shame. I will say that the found footage genre didn't exist more when we were still going in video stores and there would be like a cult section or a horror section, and there'd be that's when the found footage genre could have thrived because it would have felt like you found this footage. Right, it would feel more like It's hard now when you're like on Amazon and then it's like these mysterious tapes and you're like, no, I got this on Amazon. It's fine.
Yeah, no, like when Cannibal Holocaust came out, which is the first found footage movie. Watching it through like the lens of like a filmmaker or something, it's absurd for anyone because they intercut like staged scenes that are obviously like not found footage. Like if the whole movie had done the found footage thing, you could have believed it. But people at the time had a lawsuit. Like the guy was sued. Was taken to court for murder because they believed that the scenes were so real. And speaking of like Cannibal Holocaust, that's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, that movie pushes the boundaries too far, not just in what it's displaying, but like, they were
animal abuse, notoriously.
Animal abuse.
Yeah, don't watch that movie, listeners. It's upsetting in a too
I've
real
never
way. But
watched
anyway,
it.
You shouldn't.
Let's keep going. Let's talk about the Boroughs.
Hell yeah! This is Cocoon, the Next Generation.
Stranger Things for old people.
Yeah, I have older things written down.
I'm sorry. This whole movie.
Alfred Molina's like 70.
This looks great. By the way.
Yeah, cast.
But I was looking up the cast, and they're all like in their 60s and 70s, and they're like, okay, time to go to this place to die, and they're all like, and then they start like finding monsters, and like. They like get like a bunch of like one of them has a gun, but the rest of them have like a knife or like, and it's like Adventure Kids where it's like weirdly infantilizing.
Adventure Seniors.
Yeah, but they're not that old, so I was like, just call the cops. Maybe one of you is a cop. You're still like some of you probably didn't retire yet. Like it's that feeling of like you're all too young to do what I know the show is trying to do, which is like a bunch of old people that no one listened to. Being like, grab what you can, let's go kill this monster.
Yeah, it's a class of person that gets ignored.
Yes, but I just don't. I'm sorry, it's like Alfred Molina and Bill Pullman.
Alfred Molina, Gina Davis, Clark Peters, Alfred Woodard,
I mean, this is a stacked cast.
Yeah.
They pulled the ripcord too early, is what I'm saying, on their careers to do that. Like, it felt like they just didn't get people who looked old enough to me.
Well,
personally.
if they're planning on doing 5 seasons of it or something.
Oh, yeah. They'll grow into it. Yeah.
They'll grow into it, perhaps. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I saw Bill Pullman. I'm like, I just watched Lost Highway the other day, and I can't think of you that way. Like, you don't seem like an old guy to me. You just look like the president of the United States.
Right. God, I hope this isn't an us problem. Like,
it
where...
could be. We could be showing our age here. The young people may be like, yeah, those people are all super old.
Yeah,
they're
gonna die.
That's what I started this segment off by saying, pointing out that Alfred Molina is 70. Like, these people are old.
Yeah, I just don't. I think they needed to age them up a bit, or like, I don't know. It just, I get what they're going for, but it just, it just seems. I think this adventure kid idea of like, what if old people were adventure kids, only works if they're so old that no one is listening to them. You know what I mean?
I mean, go back and look at how old everybody was in Cocoon. Look, this is a very similar premise.
They were all
Cocoon.
30 in Cocoon.
Yeah, they're all like 27 years old.
Yes, I mean it looks super fun. I mean, it's like take Stranger Things, take Goonies, and make it with old people, and it's got that Philip Glass style music in the background, and it seems like one of those. It's like not cosmic horror, but like cosmic wonder. Like, it's gonna have this sort of like
little E.T. Yeah,
a little E.T. Spielbergian, like light Stephen King-ish vibes. You know, it looks a mystery box, almost certainly. Maybe aliens. I'm not sure what the mystery is. But.
I'm gonna guess aliens.
Yeah.
It is produced by the Duffers.
It needs like Harrison Ford. Like, Harrison Ford is the right age, I think, where it's like, I don't know. Some of this might be that celebrities and rich people just take care of themselves better, right? Where it's like, we're going to have to get used to this idea of like, oh, grandma, and grandma is just like has a 6-pack and looks gorgeous.
Culture's just different now, too. Like, there's a lot of memes that get, you know, a cycle of meme we'll see is like, this is what being 35 looked like in 1982, and this is what it looks like now. It's just, you know, people weren't spending 9 to 5 drinking scotch and smoking all day. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, we went from
we were eating nonstop red meat.
We went from like drinking scotch for breakfast to like, there's probably some pod that they get in now that does something to them.
Yeah.
But this does look a lot of fun.
Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. It's a great cast. Dee Wallace is in it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ed Begley Jr.'s in it.
Oh, the bagel. It's man, this
Jenna Malone. Is in it.
I think the least old person. Yeah. Is it Jenna Malone in there?
The daughter, I think, or something, right?
I think so, yeah.
We are going to see a lot of Netflix, I think, doing a lot of like, can this be Stranger Things?
Yeah,
Can this be Stranger Things? How about this? And anything's good. I mean, again, this looks,
Yeah, as far as like a Stranger Things style follow-up, you know, like this one's early on enough. It's got enough of a twist. It feels like it's got a slightly different vibe, like less dread, more wonder, and the cast is stacked. I think the Stranger Things thing will get played out down the road, but it seems like this may. I'm intrigued. I'm going to check this one out for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, this looks good.
All right, let's talk about this other thing, Widow's Bay.
Man, I'm so into this.
This is
what a deployment of a Stephen Root.
I know.
Like Stephen Root singing a shanty about a sea hag is basically the bookend of this trailer, and his singing kind of narrates as voiceover the entire thing, and it's just about this guy who picks up a sea hag and is now haunted by her. Like she's gonna sit on his face and suffocate him to death, we learn.
Yeah.
It looks like kind of like funny It Follows with a sea hag.
For context, it's not actually about a sea hag. The plot of this, well, it is and it isn't. So this is a TV show. The premise is that a mayor who's doesn't believe in any of this shit moves to or is in a New England town, and all the residents have their own like spooky New England town superstition or monster, and it's like a comedy horror. I said Ty West directs a few episodes, so it's definitely horror, and like it's not going to be that these things don't exist, but it's like it sounds like the X-Files if every resident was Mulder and the mayor was Scully.
That's amazing.
So it sounds like it's only one is going to be a sea hag.
I'm now
That's
disappointed.
awesome.
I thought it was going to be about a sea hag. I was on board when I knew it was. I mean, as long as there is a sea hag somewhere in this, then I'm on board. One thing that's interesting about this is that it looks like the director has a extensive music video background. Like he directed This Is America. You remember that Childish Gambino music video, which is awesome. So I'm and it has this like irreverent tone, right? Like the end of it is like the sea hag sits on your face. And so I'm like, this and Matthew Rhys is awesome as an actor.
Plays it great in it. Yeah.
And by the way, the creator is someone named Katie Dippold, who she has a background she wrote 54 episodes of Mad TV. So I'm like, oh my God. Parks and Rec. Like she has a comedy background. Right. So I think that's interesting. It's almost like someone with a comedy background then getting like horror people more involved and like mixing it. Yeah.
This looks like a blast. Yeah. It seems. Yeah. I'm super excited for this one.
And I will also just say that the like horror miniseries is a really good medium for horror. Like there's been a lot of good stuff that's come out of that. I mean, this is a TV show, but it strikes me as the kind of thing that could just be like a season or something, right?
Yeah. I hope it's more, but yes. It all was shot in Massachusetts. Shout out to my whole hometown, because if you need spooky New England fucking, you either go there. I mean, you just go anywhere in New England, really, I guess.
Yeah, and the New England setting is so good because it just takes you out of like all the bullshit of like popular American culture and just puts you in a completely different world where you can like people can believe these spooky myths and legends and like exploring these like sort of more ancient goblins and boogeymen and sea hags is a fun time.
Right. No, I'm biased, but I think New England is the best for supernatural horror in general, where it's like you go there and it's like this house is from the 1600s.
Yeah, everything here is 400 years old. Like Sleepy Hollow is around this area.
I can't disagree. I mean, I've been trained to believe that through Stephen King, like, because of all the New England settings. And I'm like, whatever Stephen King says, I'll agree with when it comes to horror.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's keep going. Because this is fascinating. Let's talk about Runner.
Oh man,
this is
my God,
Owen Wilson and Jack
Alan
Reacher.
Richard, Jack Reacher.
In a action comedy where they're both. I'm bearing the lead here. Where they're both doing organ. They're doing the organ.
They're gonna transplant a lung to a dying girl who needs it for a life or death operation, but the black market wants it, guys.
Yeah, the lowest low lives in the world are like, we want to steal that organ, which is an amazing person. Like the person to be like, I'm going to steal that little girl's organ. It's a great action premise, I think, because it's stupid.
Yeah, perfectly
the thing
stupid.
This is an Angel Studios film.
Okay, I've been seeing this Angel Studios thing. We got another one coming up from this studio.
Yes.
I don't know that much about. You need to inform me about Angel Studios.
We talked a little bit about
these people.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about them last week with Jason on, but it's the remnants or reformation of a previous like streaming or rental service that was started by 3 LDS brothers or cousins, I think.
Okay.
Basically a streaming service for family-friendly movies was the idea, and then whatever that was called broke up.
It was called
dissolved.
VidAngel originally, which sounds like it makes porn.
Yeah. I sort of remember that from.
And
back
it became
in the day.
this. And this is, it's sort of like it utilizes like a crowdfunding platform where everybody who crowdfunds Angel Studios gets to vote on which movies they pick up for distribution, as long as the movies align with their family-friendly mission statement.
I think,
and this is apparently one of them.
So here's what I think is happening. Some of their early films was his only son. You can guess who his who the son is.
Right.
A little film called Sound of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
A tiny little film called Sound of Freedom. Okay, yeah.
After Death. So Sound of Freedom was their first thing. The thing that's interesting is they did a movie that I haven't seen, but from all accounts is actually very good, really well reviewed, called Sketch, which was like a magic pen. It was like that Purple Crayon movie, but better. Like they made a better version, and the trailer, at least, it looked gorgeous. And I was suspicious of it because I was like, it's Angel Studios. I think what's happening here is what the Daily Wire
just buying
wanted.
movies, right?
They're just distributing.
I think they're doing what the Daily Wire wants to do but can't, which is that I think what happened is that they were a niche company that was like religious family, and then they got a taste of money, and they're like, the new idea. What if we just made movies? What we like I think they're getting slowly corrupted by success because I think they made enough money that they're like, okay, new plan.
Well, what I love about this premise is so brilliant is that, okay, so as you said, the premise is these two, this, buddy duo of Owen Wilson and Jack Reacher, are taking this lung to a little girl. And then the black market comes in and tries to get it from them. And so that creates a scenario because their mission is so pure, right? This little girl's life is on the line. The people who are trying to get this lung have to be the worst scumbags in the universe. And so what scenario does that create for you? It means that you can kill them with utter impunity and not think twice, not have an ounce of remorse. They all just become nameless, faceless henchmen that you can mow down and murder without a single solitary moment of regret. And that's the brilliance of this setup.
Yeah. I remember in film school, my teacher being like, listen, if you're going to write, if you need henchmen, two things. Nazis or zombies. and this is kind of that where it's they're disposable human beings.
That's why you start. It's the opposite of save the cat, kick the cat. If you start them off kicking a cat, you can do anything to that character now, and the audience will forgive it.
Yeah,
exactly. And it used to be drug dealers. Like if you think about like Bad Boys, like the scene Bad Boys 2, where they're just running their car through a shanty town, and it's like, how many people are dying here?
You hear that sweaty ADR line? These are all drug labs.
Yes, exactly.
So they start exploding.
And it used to be terrorists, of course. And I think it's very interesting that this movie is coming out on none other than 9/11.
Oh, yes!
Fuck yes. Never forget the day that Jack Reacher destroyed those terrorists.
You just have to have you don't have to worry about these people. They are disposable. That's what we've learned.
There's another phenomenon here, but I want to discuss it with the next trailer if we can loop that in, because the next trailer is Young Washington. Oh wait, you want to wrap up?
I just want to say, just Runner looks very average.
Yeah.
Yes,
it looks like the type of movie.
For Speed.
There you go. It looks like the type of movie that was out there looking for distribution, and Angel Studios was the highest bidder.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this next one is called Young Washington. And it's like a young Sheldon, but Washington. It's another Angel Studios.
It's about him insulting all of his friends.
This looks like it could have been AI. This has a real AI sheen to it.
This looks like a Daily Wire movie.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And it has, but the cast is stacked.
Oh, you were talking about like it's too soon. When we're talking about the Boroughs, it's too soon for you to like play the old person. I felt so bad for Ben Kingsley and Mary Louise Parker, who are like, I guess I'm going to do this. They've got to be doing this just for a quick paycheck. But it is so sad to see their faces and their performances in this trailer to me.
There's also Kelsey Grammer. That's no surprise.
That's no surprise, yeah.
And then Andy Serkis is there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think when going back to like the Daily Wire of it all, and the thing they didn't understand is that like, Hollywood was never very woke to begin with.
No, Hollywood's not a particularly woke liberal place.
No,
No.
money's money is what it comes down to. Ben Kingsley has never been. He was in the Blood Rain movie. He's never been against this if the money's right. And that's what it comes down to. Is I think Angel Studios. What I mean is like they're doing what the Daily Wire couldn't, because Angel Studios they definitely have. You know, they're very religious. Nothing wrong with that necessarily, but they clearly have political leanings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they know to kind of do it with like a gentle hand, unlike the Daily Wire.
Mhm.
They're clearly being like just making movies, and some of their movies are actually just movies.
It's regular movies.
Some of them aren't. They're going to use the success to fund these other ones.
The baseline tone for a Hollywood film is conservative.
Exactly.
So,
like, for example, Angel Studios is making the Hershey movie, which is the movie about,
Sure.
ooh, and you think about we've been making so many of the movies, they're all pro-corporate. They're all like, what if the corporation was the hero?
And it's
Yeah.
interesting you brought
and
that
this-
up, because this Young Washington movie is kind of like, what if the British were the hero? Because this movie
Yes.
is about George Washington fighting to be able to be a British general. It's not telling the story about how he won America's independence.
No,
No,
it's
it's
telling
young Washington.
the story about how he beat the French and got flattered by the British as a result.
Yeah, the British
Like-
will be like Thanos
and
at the
like,
end.
The trailer is like, celebrate America's 250th anniversary with this story that's not about that.
Yeah.
Well, do you notice one of the funniest things about this trailer to me was just a couple things. Do you clock the like action shot of him chopping down the cherry tree?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was so excited.
So good.
So the
And
first
again,
shots we see is like,
they
oh fuck, I
reincorporate-
bet that's the cherry tree.
It's like, oh, it's the cherry tree. He cannot tell a lie. And so this is just American myth making and propaganda. Obviously, the guy who plays George Washington looks terrible to me.
Yeah.
He's
as an
introducing,
actor.
like
introducing this guy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
I don't
too
mean to be
pretty.
mean to this guy. And his accent he sounds like you and me. He just sounds like, I mean, I know he's not British because he's George Washington, but he just has like a California accent.
He really does. It's that's why it looks like AI, but for the record. It's that weird, like, this doesn't look like it was made. And this director has done like all the religious stuff, so it's clearly gonna be what we're
it's
describing.
the production company this is actually a production of Angel Studios through like Wonder Project, which is this
Right.
Christian themed partnership through Amazon MGM.
So they actually made this one. This is not
Yeah.
like The Sound of Freedom where
Yeah.
they took a movie and figured out what if we take this movie and connect it to the QAnon controversy and create a genius marketing campaign that it becomes a political identity in order to watch this movie.
Right.
This is like them being like, hey, let's try our hand at filmmaking. You can tell the difference in quality for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do think part of the reason you can see this getting legitimized by the actors and cast and stuff is also that simple fact of like, we don't like you could have seen this movie in the 90s with Mel Gibson, right? Like you can see
We kind
a
of
version.
did. It's called The Patriot.
It's called The Patriot, where like we used to make these mid-budget movies that were like fun to watch and like dramas. And these days you see more and more like very respectable actors in smaller films because that's the only place you can be in a certain type of film. And I think that what's happening is like everybody just kind of goes where the money is. And it's like for an actor who's like, I want to make like just a drama. They're like, okay, well, here's your options. These people have money. These people have money. These people have money. And so it's like, all right, fucking Angel Pictures, whatever you are, there is a gap and they are coming in to fill it. And so that's why it's like very smart in a way to be like, like young Washington looks like slop, but it's also
a real
like,
piece of shit.
what else are you going to see if you want this type of movie? Like historical
it would've-
drama.
And
Wish
they
it looked
also
better.
they also have like developed, it sounds like, a built-in audience of people who are going to watch all their stuff. And so it's just,
Yeah, that helps.
it's like, okay, this has been pre-screened, by this studio or whatever, this entity. And so I can show it to my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks bad. It looks bad.
bad.
It
They
looks
waited
very
till
bad.
1 minute into the trailer for him to say, "I'm George Washington," and it's like, no, you need to have the very beginning of the trailer, a little action. Put your little action shot of the cherry tree chop down. You need to establish that he's George Washington before halfway through the trailer.
Yeah.
Now, hang on, but what if we waited until halfway through the trailer, and then we had the actor who plays George Washington, who happens to be, he must be the nephew or the son of a producer at Wonder Project, spits out the line with some kind of accent that changes in every different scene that we see him in. What if they did that instead?
You know who should have played
Good
George
point.
Washington?
Who?
Obviously. Alan Richardson.
Timothy Chalamet.
No,
Alan
Jack
Richardson?
Reacher.
Yeah, Jack Reacher.
Timothy
like
Chalamet would have been great.
I thought you were
too.
going to say Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Should we talk about Passenger?
Zendaya. Yeah, let's talk about Passenger.
Yeah,
This is. I saw the teaser for this a long time ago. In
Same, yeah.
theaters.
Same.
It's like, what if cars are scary?
What if you got a ghost that haunted your car, basically?
Yeah. Which is, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, that seems neat. I'm way more excited because this director is the director of Troll Hunter, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't miss. He doesn't make he doesn't make extremely complex horror movies, but I think he makes really,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
really good ones.
good
Autopsy
horror.
of Jane Doe. I loved Demeter as well, but Autopsy of Jane Doe is still my favorite. I didn't love this trailer, but I like the idea, and I really like the director, so I'm jazzed about this one.
Yeah, I thought the opening was really funny to me, so I did a little bit of math, because it says 130 million people take road trips every year. 15,400 are never seen again. And I thought to myself, what the hell statistic is this?
Yeah.
So
How
130
many were
million
killed in road accidents?
Are we just talking about car accidents, or
Probably.
never seen again? And it's creating this scenario where, you might be taken by the passenger or whatever. But I did the math, and that's 1 out of 10,000, which is not very likely odds that you're gonna
that's not
never
bad.
be seen again. But
Yeah, and again, it's is some of that you drove off a cliff? Never be seen. What does that mean? Never be seen alive?
Never seen again? Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah. It's not as. I mean, the best is Apollo 18, the one about haunted moon rocks. That
There's a
ends
reason
with
we
a
never went
statistic
back to
about
the
how much
moon.
moon rocks we bring home.
Yep.
But all that said, it has some, very in the mouth of madness type
I was about
imagery.
to say, very in
You
the mouth
know?
of madness at the start.
with the
I love the opening.
hitchhiker and
Yeah.
the circling around and seeing the
It's
same
the classic
person over and
Hitchhiker
over again.
story too. Yeah, from
Yeah.
there's an old radio from that drama Suspense from back in the days of radio plays, but I'm sure the story is even older than that. It's I think they do a version of it in Creepshow 2, I think. But
Yeah.
I love the opening.
Yeah.
I really like this director.
Yeah, I agree though that the trailer itself was underwhelming, and then I learned who directed it, and I was like, "Oh,
Back
I'm
on board. Yeah.
on board." Yeah,
Back on board.
it's not his fault if the trailer wasn't cut perfectly, where it's
Yeah.
all right, so be it. Unless he edited the trailer, but
Because it does a lot of jump scare moments that kind of ruin. There'll be a couple of moments that are very elegantly set up, and then it's and it's kind of ruins it.
and that's so many horror trailers. That movie
Yeah.
Undertone I was telling you about, Tom, that I finally watched, nothing like the trailer. The trailer is trying to be jump scare, and it's nah, it's not really that.
Okay.
Yeah, but being out on the road in the middle of the country and then being sort of haunted by some passenger that there's a lot of good raw material that this premise does have.
It's
And
a good
so
idea.
I feel like this is definitely worth checking out, and it's a good reminder. Check out the director of movies when you see them, because that's going to be able to dictate a lot. The trailer, I directed a horror movie back in the day, and the studio edited the trailer for me, and I remember thinking like, this trailer sucks. So, you know what I mean? You don't necessarily get full control over that.
Also, as someone who's driven cross country 4 times now,
Yeah.
I don't actually think it's that scary, because it would be scary in the 70s, but now it's just giant fucking highways that are really bright. Like, I slept in my car one of the times and stuff like that. I don't know. It's fine. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
Unless you take the side roads.
Right, but who the hell is going to do that? We've made it depressingly, I shouldn't say safe, because I'm sure lots of people die doing this.
Yeah,
like the
but not
trailer
scary.
says. Not scary, yeah.
We need to make it moodier again, damn it.
I did have my car smashed.
You almost became one of those 15,400 people, is what you're saying.
That's true. Should we? All right, one last trailer.
Yeah.
Godzilla -0, baby. Did you guys watch Godzilla -1?
I have not seen it.
No, I've only seen half of it.
I hear it's incredible.
It's real. The half I've seen is really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I think the definitive, because it's a CGI Godzilla, and so it's like, okay, most of the time CGI plus Godzilla equals trash, or like fun trash, like the new. This is probably the definitive, like, okay, we're doing it and we're making it good. And we're making it like it's what, like, I think that first American Godzilla was trying to be, where it's like, this is serious. Godzilla's serious business.
I think still couldn't get away from, but Godzilla's our friend, right?
Yeah.
And Godzilla -1 is like, no, the fuck he's not.
Yes, it's like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Oh, I must say, the image of Godzilla walking by the Statue of Liberty, like, did kind of give me chills. I'm like, okay, where are we going here? Because
for me, I was like, I'm ready.
Oh, I know. Take me. Because Godzilla, I love Godzilla as just a horror icon, and the original Godzilla, like, and the metaphor of Godzilla. Talk about woke movies, like Godzilla representing the hubris of mankind in the nuclear age. Like, Godzilla is like one of those things that represents, like, the fall of mankind. You know what I mean? Like, the ending of it all.
And Godzilla -1 takes place right after the bomb. Yeah. It is back to that metaphor. Sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah. And so it feels like it's really tapping into that, like, hey, like, the hubris and just the dread of, like, this whole, like, little experiment we're doing with civilization is not a sure thing.
Yeah. And it makes a super amount of sense. One, because the original movie was popular here, but two, because of what we're saying, that Godzilla would roll up on the Statue of Liberty. Like, that's exactly the next step. Like, again, it's lucrative for them, the filmmakers, but story-wise, after seeing the first movie, it's like, yeah, it makes sense that it's like, we're gonna go ahead and point those fingers at America some more. Yeah. So, yeah. Very excited for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch when it comes out. I'm gonna watch -1 and then check this out right after.
Yeah,
because I'm excited.
All right. Well, we have some news stories, but first we have some patrons to thank.
Let's do it.
Big thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dan Hackroy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Dave Ruff.
Thank you.
Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson. Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Disposable Income. Always.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless, Magistrate of Wagga Wagga and Skull Tower Aficionado.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Fat Todd's Chocolate Hog.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to Funky J. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thanks.
And thank you to Happy Ed Classic.
Thank you. All right, let me take over. Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to Hyde Alexis Thompson. It's pretty sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you to I was quite frankly out of excuses.
Thank you.
Thank you to Joe Man, the annoying skeleton.
Thank you.
Thank you to I'm not allowed to say that on a podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to
you
Look Mime on a podcast.
You skipped
No,
Joe Man.
I said Joe Man, but I said him out of order.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
Thank you to my ashwagandha. Don't want none unless you got puns, son.
Thank you.
We had a pun. We had Big Pun at the beginning of the show.
That's true.
Big Punisher.
Oh yeah. So we got some sequels and remakes from horror. This I did like tilt knowing that Will was going to be here. The Howling and Escape from New York are both getting remakes. I will say they've been threatening to do Escape from New York for quite some time.
10 years at least, yeah.
I think the
Radio
issue
Silence
is John
was attached
Carpenter.
at one point.
Yeah, John Carpenter doesn't give a shit, right? He's probably like, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Send me that check.
Right.
And they just can't get it together.
Yeah, so which one do you want to start with, The Howling or Escape from New York?
I think The Howling, I'll start with my take, which is sure. I don't see why not. Like,
you could do an interesting.
It's a timeless idea.
No, and it depends on what they're doing. It depends on whether they're specifically remaking The Howling or if they're doing a readaptation of the Gary Bradner's novel, which is very different.
Yeah, they should do The Howling too, right? My sister's a werewolf.
Oh man, I mean, The Howling is, I would say, probably the second best 80s werewolf movie.
I agree with that.
American Werewolf in London is better.
Mm.
And I think, and then you've got like The Company of Wolves, which everyone should check out because it's a fucking trip.
That movie, yeah.
Yeah, The Howling, I'm like, sure. I'm curious. I mean, one of the things you need, I hope Dee Wallace gets a cameo or gets a role in it. That would be nice.
Yeah.
She's in the Boroughs fighting aliens.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
busy.
She's busy. But is she? But are they going to do a practical transformation?
This is the thing, is we talked about this recently with The Thing 2. I actually like the plot and the way The Thing 2 is made, but it doesn't matter because they did CGI. Like, it's all down the drain, right? Where you're like,
the movie's totally irrelevant now. It does not. Even though it pairs nicely, like I feel a lot of this pretty much the same way that you do, Dave. But even so, even though it could exist as a very nice companion piece for The Thing, it's forever left out of that conversation because of the CGI.
Right, and like people who are really into practical effects can get very annoying. Where it's like there are some things that it's like, I get it.
Yeah, sure.
We're making that they would have made it CGI at the time, like that thing where it's
right.
Like, I get it. It's fine. But there are certain things where it's like there was a craft around it and it's legendary, where it's like in order to make another, you kind of have to, that's a component of it because that's what the fans like too.
Yeah, I think you can't do this as a CGI transformation because, I mean, you can, obviously, and they might. But to me, yes, there are certain things CGI, go for it. Great. That's better. But a werewolf transformation, like doing it CGI, like you can look at the American Werewolf in Paris to see how janky that. I mean, obviously they're way ahead of that now, but I really think they need to try to do a practical one and like knock it out of the park with it.
Right, because
it's the same instinct though. Even though we've gotten a long way since 1997, but it's the same instinct you're talking about. Is coming from something that was so singular of an effects achievement that they created the makeup award for it, and being like, well, we can just do it with computers, right?
Yeah.
Then why make a sequel to this movie?
Right. I want to see what they can do now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to Disney
where
you're
blows up like a balloon in The Howling. Show me some crazy shit like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's kind of like Disney briefly started replacing animatronics with like just screens, 3D screens.
Right.
And then they dialed it back because they realized like, no, we're fucking Disney. This is what we do. It doesn't matter if it's outdated. It's that feeling where it's like, I want to see the latest technology in practical effects.
Yes.
I want to be blown away by what they can do now because I bet they can do
stuff.
And like some of that, there might be some like
some
wire removal, a little bit of green screen, but it's like you could integrate digital into that, but
it just doesn't all need to be digital. Like in a Dragon Heart, not Dragon Heart, in a Dragon Slayer rather, when they bring the dragon to life with a go motion, but which would be CGI now, but also like big practical claws and certain.
Yeah,
different techniques. You bring all kinds of. You don't make like one particular style of art, like one art department responsible for the whole character. I don't know. I'm rambling.
It feels more like art. It's cool when someone
It's like
has
paving it
physically
over
done
with one thing, and it's like, no, it could be a bunch of different teams coming together to, anyway.
Yeah. Go motion I get as like why we went like, oh my god, get some CGI in there.
Yeah. Go motion still looks good. Like it still looks good, but obviously,
but
like
I
once
know
you
why
get to
they
digital,
did it.
you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
we don't really need this anymore.
Which is the better transformation, The Howling or American Werewolf in London?
Werewolf, in my opinion. I like
Yeah.
Rob Bottin's in The Howling, but he's going for Looney. Like Howling is Joe Dante. It's slapstick. It's goofy. It's Looney Tunes, and the book is very dark and grim.
Right.
But you say, yeah, I think it's a little apples to oranges. But to me, even so, American Werewolf in London is more technically impressive to me.
Yeah.
Who would you want to be in Escape from New York besides Wyatt Russell? Because like Wyatt Russell, it's like, well, yeah.
Well, obviously him.
Glenn
You mean
Powell
as
Snake
the Kurt
Plissken?
Russell character?
Kurt
Yeah.
Russell. If it's not Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, you know what? Do a
Glenn
sequel.
Powell's not
Fuck
a
it.
bad. Gosh, we don't have movie stars the way we used to.
I know it's hard because I think the instinct, like my instinct was Wyatt Russell. Like let's just do it again.
No.
But I don't think you should do a new Escape from New York. I think that was of a time and place, personally, is what that made that movie good. Like, I can see the version of this where it's like slick action movie, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, where it's like 2011's Total Recall. Or
I was about to say, yeah. Or the
Right.
new RoboCop, where you're like,
Red
it was
Dawn.
kind of, Red Dawn, where it's like, it's kind of an artifact, that's why we like it.
Yeah, I mean, and we are, I think, jonesing for some new good dystopian work, but
Yeah.
it's sort of like make some original stuff. Who's going to play the president instead of Donald Pleasance?
Yeah.
You can't outdo that performance.
No, you can't.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, I will say
Kelsey
with the
Grammer.
with the Kelsey Grammer.
That would work. He'd be great.
He
Bartimus
actually would
Crouch,
work.
or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, that king.
Sorry, Will.
No, but we're like you said, one of the things is it does feel like we're post-satire world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every time you like involve something like this, it's like you have to pretend that like the president isn't like who the president is, you know what I mean? That it's like a serious person or whatever,
Right.
as opposed to just a total clown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm skeptical of this remake. Like, I'm not like, yeah, they should definitely do this. I'm like, I think they're probably gonna mess it up.
So are they. They seem skeptical.
Yeah.
I think John Carpenter in general, where it's like, I think people don't realize how much of John Carpenter's film success is vibes.
Yes.
Like, even the new Halloweens, they sort of knew. Didn't John Carpenter do the music in the new Halloweens? Like, I think people have thought, like, it's the music, right? We need him to do the music no matter what.
He did, yeah.
But it's more than that. And it's it's just like, you just can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's like remaking a Gilliam film where it's like, what? Like, that's what people like, is the execution.
Right. Yeah. And he's, John Carpenter is playing he's walking such a tightrope, like in terms of like the way that he creates that vibe is not easy. Like it's so close to, like, his movies sometimes I feel like are so close to falling apart, but they like work because of his like singular voice. Like the tone in Escape from New York is such a tricky thing to get right. You know what I mean? Like, there's dread, it's satirical, it's comedic, it's heartfelt, like all simultaneously. It's going to be hard to remake this movie.
For sure. All right.
He
So
didn't
a couple
even do
other
a great job at it.
What's that?
Escape from he didn't even do a great job at it when he made Escape from L.A.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Good evidence of how hard it is to do, because he couldn't even follow it up.
Oh yeah, Escape from New York was barely made too. Like, they were shooting on illegally in I forget what city. It was like in Middle America. Yeah. Other news: Behind the Mask if people remember
Yeah,
that movie, is
I
getting
do.
a sequel, Behind the Mask 2. I haven't seen Behind the Mask, so I have no opinion.
yeah. To me, Behind the Mask, it's a horror comedy. It's a documentary. It's very What We Do in the Shadows, but if they were following like a Jason Voorhees slasher, it was made a little bit before What We Do in the Shadows, so it's a little bit ahead of its time. It's not a perfect movie. I think it kind of falls apart in the third act, but I really like the idea, and the first two acts are so charming. Like, they're really well done.
It's like a documentary of like following this Jason Voorhees style person, and so it has the ability to like deconstruct all the horror tropes, right? Like, okay, like let me plan how this is going to work. You know, I need to do cardio because there's going to be a lot of running when I'm chasing all these, you know, co-eds or whatever. The thing that I'm curious about is the slasher genre, the kind of thing that they were doing a satire or parody of in the first one is not really alive in the same way today as it was back then.
I would argue every slasher film is a parody now.
Yeah.
Everything Scream, it became a thing where like, and some for good and bad, like Hard Eyes is a satire on, but it's good. I like it. But it's
really
like,
liked Hard
it's, and then like you look at like the Eli Roth stuff, Thanksgiving, it's all like ironic throwbacks. Where it's like, it's let's subvert it.
He's doing it earnestly, but yeah, it is well, not totally earnestly. But
Thanksgiving, I think, is like he executes it earnestly, but it's
right. Yeah,
it's meant to be that, you know.
Right. Yeah, 100%. It's meant to be a throwback slasher, 100%.
Yeah, there's a wink to the audience for every current slasher in a way where it's like. It knows what it is and it's self-referential. You know, there's like a detachment. That type of thing is like embedded in the genre ever since Scream. And this, you know, the Leslie Vernon movie was like in that spirit of Scream in terms of like, let's deconstruct the genre. And so I'm curious how you update that vibe I'll give him a chance for sure.
It's been almost 20 years since this first one.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's the reverse slasher, I realize. We talked about this with They Will Kill You and Hide and Seek, where it's, what if the slasher was the person we're rooting for, and everybody's trying to kill them?
Yeah, kind of the one-man army slasher sort of thing.
Final news is, real quick, we're getting Marvel Studios layoffs. This felt inevitable. This feels like Metaverse to me, which is... Yeah, you bet everything on a single thing, and then you're like, everything's going to be this. And I feel really bad for the artists who are getting laid off because of this.
If you read it, it seems like the department that was the most heavily affected was visualization. Let me get the exact phrasing of it, but it was specifically the artists and developers and stuff for like designing new character looks and things like that. So it's like, it seems indicative. Well, it seems indicative of the fact that they're scaling down their Marvel production.
Yes.
They're not going to be making nearly as much. Visual development artists, that's what it is.
Yeah, my first question was, is this AI related? The article goes out of its way to say that it's not. It's just because of scale down in Marvel production. But it is, whether or not it is or isn't, it is interesting that, like, I'm sure a lot of people who saw this were like, is this about AI?
Yeah.
And they have to answer that question because everyone's asking it when something like this happens.
I'm sure Marvel was like, it's not AI, it's not AI, it's not AI.
Even if it's not directly, it is. Because, Disney invested, I don't know how many bajillion dollars in AI. Like, they're still eating shit on that investment, so that's why they're downsizing. Even though, as I pointed out in the notes, they paid negative 1% in taxes last year.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Negative taxes.
Oh, yeah, the money
How does that work?
The money can come from other places.
We gave them money. Thanks for the
money.
negative tax break last year. Fucking sweeping layoffs of thousands of people.
Yeah. But
anyway.
More of this is, I don't know. It was a bubble, and it was fun while it lasted. I think it's Quibi again. It's Metaverse. It's AI. it's when all these companies are like, this is the future, and the entire public is like, I don't think it is. Like it might be part of the future, but you're making it so all consuming, and then everybody is like, okay, we're so sick of this.
Yeah, every movie can't be a Marvel superhero movie.
Yeah, some can.
Some can,
yeah.
but not every movie.
I've said it before. Marvel needs to Marvel should be seriously. They need to do like
be an Angel
they need
Studios.
a Miramax. Like they need a sub studio that they put out actual films with that they pretend aren't Marvel films. You know what I mean? Like they need to just be a movie studio. Because
right.
You can't just be we make one movie, the studio.
Yeah, right. 100%. They need to follow what you're saying is they need to be like Tom
Angel
said,
Studios.
more like Angel Studios.
Yeah, they need to be like
they
Angel
need to find
Studios.
some Jesus.
I would rather watch a Marvel version of Young Washington than Angel Studios.
Oh yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do like the Ben and Me treatment, put a little mouse in his pocket.
Fuck it. Seriously,
yeah.
with a
Do you
Young
thi-
Washington do
you think
Lie.
Young Washington, do you think they're going to show his
dick?
enslaved
Oh.
that he
No.
owned slaves?
No.
No.
Do you
I-
even think,
I
do you
This
think
movie's
they're
not
going to
going
show
to
that part of
mention
him?
slavery.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be mentioned, or they'll show a scene of him like heroically saving one of the slaves or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Being really
He'll
nice
look
to them.
off into the distance and say slavery is wrong, but for right now it's the law, and then he'll kiss the Bible, and then they'll move on.
Let's thank some more producers.
Okay,
All right. Big thank you to Norm from Cheers.
thank you.
Big thank you to Norm from Cheers. Undying love for Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Oh Shit, It's Candyman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Numino Ultramicroscopic Silico Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Robert.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thanks.
Thank you to Sweet Keel, likes the way Tom says pretty sweet.
Thanks.
Thanks, you.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to the Construct Rituals by Ravages of the Scourge. It's metal about necromancers.
Thank you.
Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the scar left by seeing James Woods put a gun in his stomach cooch.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Thriller in Manila Schlong in Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny has left a resurrected copy of Dead Heat in your house for Easter.
Thank you.
Can't find mine still. Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to time to shake off my last bit of tip drizzle. Man, couldn't
Thank
get
you.
through that. Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to watch me use these prehensile nipples to shoplift loose shrimp.
Thank you.
Thank you to Will Rhymes with Bill or Bill Rhymes with Will.
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Thank you.
Dave.
Whew, what's up?
Dave.
What?
Before we hit the road so we can get this liver to that little girl before the black market comes in,
Uh-huh.
do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
You know, I certainly do. I certainly do.
You hero.
Speaking of like grimy movies and slashers,
You
and
hero
everything,
worthy of an Angel Studios film.
Yeah, I have a movie called Frankie Maniac Woman. It is coming out on April 24th. That's what, this month?
Yeah.
Are we in April?
That's-
I keep forgetting what fucking
That's
month
next
it is.
Friday.
Jesus.
Whoa.
All right, that's why. Yeah. So this is a the best way is if people have seen the movie Piggy. It's being described as Piggy meets American Psycho, kind of. It's about it's a woman in, I think, the music industry, or trying to make it in the LA music industry, who has body image issues, and that then manifests in her murdering pretty girls with a Texas Chainsaw mask. It's very grimy. It's very Texas Chainsaw, but it's kind of meta too. It's kind of all the things we've talked about. It feels a little bit of Behind the Mask. The actress Dina Silva, who also co-wrote it, she got like some like indie awards for Best Actress. She's clearly doing, again, like Patrick Bateman. Like she's the trailer starts with her talking to her therapist about her issue, except she's killed her therapist already. So yeah, it just seems like it's like kind of a slasher from the perspective more of the slasher, without her mask on, just being out of her mind. And yeah, all the reviews are positive. They say it gets right to it. There's a kill in the first minute. The movie is, very grainy, grimy is all I can say. And her performance is apparently also very grimy, very like over the top. This review calls it uncomfortable to watch. Like her performance, I'm like, ooh, that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you guys think of this? Oh, what's it called? Frankie, Maniac Woman.
I'm very intrigued by this based on the trailer. Like this movie feels like it has a voice, right? It has a point of view. It has something it wants to say. And this is the kind of space, we're talking about like Eli Roth does these movies. That kind of movie creates space for this kind of movie. You know what I mean? And I'm into it. I mean, like this woman's performance looks really interesting, and I want to see and her taking her rage out on the world. Like it's a character type that feels completely underrepresented or non-represented in all media, like this woman that we're seeing here. And so I'm intrigued to see this person, like what this movie has to say. It looks, I'm intrigued for sure.
Yeah, and for the record, the reviews seem to indicate she is the villain. Like the movie doesn't mistake her for like a hero, but it definitely is like a complex dynamic.
Yeah, it looks real gross.
Yeah.
No, I was into it. Definitely uncomfortable. It reminded me a little bit of The Greasy Strangler, just in terms of how like in your face, and like and sweaty and grotesque. Like there's a lot of grotesque violence.
Murder isn't pretty.
No, it's just real in your face and uncomfortable and gross.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were talking about that being a viable type of. There's a different type of, being scared versus being uncomfortable.
Right.
And this is definitely uncomfortable.
It's funny. I didn't think of The Greasy Strangler. That seems like a whole other thing to me. But I
just
know
in terms
what
of
you're
the
saying.
visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just intriguing to me that the person who's at the center of it is the person that she is, right? Like this is we've seen movies that are gritty and grimy and violent and gross, but we've never seen this person in that movie. And I'm curious what that's going to, what it's going to be saying. You know, I want to know what it has to say. I want to hear. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I like it. I like slashers from the point of view. Like, I guess I feel like there should be more slashers where they don't have a mask. I actually think at this point the mask is a crutch. And I'm like, I kind of want to hear what they have to say, the people behind the mask. Because, it's not going to be normal what they have to say. It's going to be weird. I want to know.
Well, it makes me think of, it's called Frankie Maniac Woman. I can't help but think of just the movie Maniac. Which, is similarly following a serial killer from his point of view. Is the villain. Yeah. He is not, you are not rooting for him, but it is like an examination of this person that's fascinating. And this, I feel like with the title playing on that, it's sort of like Maniac, but with this woman at the center of it.
Yeah.
We don't get to see slasher movies made with this type of person in the lead. You're right.
Yeah. Everybody check it out. Again, it'll be, I think it's like limited release. I'm guessing it'll probably be on streaming pretty damn fast. These tend to be.
Frankie Maniac Woman.
Check it out, folks.
And that's a so.
Woo!
Will, thank you so much for doing the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This is so much fun to just watch trailers and talk about movies and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, totally. It is nice. Movies are great.
Movies. Do you want to hit your pluggies again?
Oh yes, yeah. For you can check some more news out, which I work on with Dave and Cody and Katie and all of them all the time. But check out
And Tom writes.
And Tom writes, yes. So it'll be a reunion. And then check out Man Boy Nice on YouTube, me and my brother's channel. We've got 3 video essays on there right now that you can check out. And if you're interested in horror movies and what they have to say and in the context of the time they were made and their relevance today, please check it out. And check out Man Boy Nice on YouTube.
Do it. I'll plug our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac and Star Trek The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys and our brand new Supernatural podcast, Himboos. Not that new. I think is it a year old? It doesn't matter.
I think it might be a year old now.
Yeah, and every
That's
Friday
not fair.
night, we watch movies. We watch movies with our pals. 2 movies back-to-back on our Discord. Check that out as well.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others, so check that out. Please rate and review our podcast wherever you're listening. And please check out our other show, Badical, Badical, also wherever you are listening.
Do it. Yeah.
Let's run this liver.
What?
Let's run this
Get
liver.
it over. We got to save the
Angel
girl.
Studios.
Oh, yeah. God damn. I'm going to watch that movie.
We probably are.
That's a shame.
Wow.
All right.
Bye.
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 Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as The Corlew or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.